Okay, so for our second lesson today, we're going to do something very similar to what we did yesterday. We're going to read another close read passage. I'll read through it once with you. You can take notes, underline important things, and then you are free to re-listen to me read it or just reread as you need to get all the answers. Now, remember, you need to watch the whole video so you know which questions you do need to answer. You don't need to do all of them, but I'll walk through those at the end. Okay. Here we go. Today, this article is called Seeing into the Past. So kind of similar to yesterday, we found fossil bones, but this one we're going to find something different from the past. First, let's look at our picture. Radar specialist Hirokatsu Watanabe stands outside of King Tut's tomb. Here he is. King Tut's burial chamber on the right is in the Valley of the Kings in Luxor, Egypt. So King Tut was a king a long time ago in ancient Egypt. Okay. So let's see what these people find out about him. One of the biggest challenges for archaeologists studying ancient sites is how to gather information from artifacts and human remains while keeping them intact. So similar to a paleontologist, an archaeologist is someone who just studies artifacts that are found from prehistoric times rather than fossils. Okay, so one of the biggest challenges is gathering information from these artifacts. An artifact would be something like this, or like a drawing, a painting, and human remains while keeping them intact. So as most of you know, I think, in ancient Egypt, they often mummified the bodies of special or important people. So archaeologists are in charge of studying those human remains, okay? Whereas paleontologists study animals. Fortunately, 21st century technology has made it possible to examine archaeological treasures without ruining them. Technology can even provide data on objects archaeologists have never actually seen. Tools typically used in the medical, military, and aerospace industries are helping archaeologists uncover secrets in Tutankhamun's, or for short, King Tut's tomb. In 2015, a British Egyptologist, so someone who studies Egypt, named Nicholas Reeves, conducted laser scans of the walls in Tut's burial chamber and reported seeing indications that portions of the walls were once doorways. So he was able to do laser scans, so he didn't have to dig through all of this to find out this information. He could scan the area with lasers to see what was going on down there. The scans could indicate that there were passages that had been sealed and painted over prior to the young king's burial. A scientific team from the Egyptian Ministry of Antiquities followed up with infrared thermographic scans that measured the wall's surface temperature. So thermographic is measuring temperature. Thermo means temperature. So once again, this is all stuff they can do from the outside. Like here, he's using this machine to get scans of stuff underneath the ground or next to it without actually digging through it. So they can get a lot of information and data without disturbing the artifacts. Variations observed in the temperature of the walls suggested that passageways and other openings might lie beyond the west and north walls. So they could find where these passages are located just by using the temperatures. These findings captured the interest of archaeologists around the world. In 2016, Japanese and German teams used radar to test Reeves' hidden chamber hypothesis. They wanted to determine what lay beyond the tomb's thick stone walls. These radar specialists studied the pattern of echoes from areas behind the walls in Tut's tomb. Although some irregularities were seen, the pattern didn't indicate that there were areas behind the walls. So echoes would be like, when you're in a cave or a very open space, you say something, it goes echo, echo, echo. So they could use their radars to bounce off of things to see if there's walls to bounce off of. But they found that it didn't indicate that there were areas behind the walls, just to test this hypothesis that there was a hidden chamber. At first, some experts thought that if the mysterious spaces existed, they might be the tomb of Queen Nefertiti. The beautiful Queen Nefertiti was Tut's stepmother. So King Tut's stepmother, they think, might have been hidden in one of these spaces, hypothetical spaces. The results of a later scan, however, showed no signs of hidden spaces, and doubt has been cast on the theory until further scans can be completed. Perhaps some new form of technology will help archaeologists uncover the truth of what, if anything, lies behind King Tut's tomb. So in science, often scientists are challenging other scientists' thoughts and ideas until it can be proven to be true. We can't just come up with a hypothesis and assume that it's true. We have to test it to find out if other theories could be true, or if we get the same results more than once, that means it's very likely that it is true. So first we thought there might be hidden chambers, but then with this other technology, they're thinking maybe not. But they're still not sure. They're thinking maybe with new technology, they can actually figure out what lies behind there. Now, I just want you to think for a second, before I go over the questions in this map, why are they not just digging in there? Why would they not just break it all down and see what's down there? Not sure how much you guys know about mummies and stuff like that, but in order to preserve them, you don't want to disturb them, because if it gets touched by outside air, it's been in this tight, compact space for a long time where it's not being disturbed. But if it does get disturbed, things can get ruined, and then they're not preserved as they once were. So it's very tricky and touchy to study these type of things. So let's look at this map real quick and I'll go over your questions. Here, King Tut's tomb was first discovered in 1922 in the Valley of the Kings by British archaeologist Howard Carter. So this is near the Nile River, again in Egypt. So this is his tomb, and then the black squares are all other discovered tombs. Maybe we're not sure exactly who they belong to, but this is where his was, the king. So then there's kind of tunnels along here that connect them. Okay, so you can listen to that again if you need to, or you can just read on your own. I'm going to go over the questions. Sorry, that's not yours. I'm going to go over the questions that you need to answer quickly. And get to work. Alrighty, questions here. All right, number one, what technologies, I'm going to zoom out so you can see them all. What technologies are archaeologists using to uncover the secrets of King Tut's tomb? So what kinds of things did they talk about using to get information without disturbing, without digging stuff up? Who was Queen Nefertiti and why is she mentioned in the passage? She's someone related to King Tut. Nope. Okay, this one here. Why does the author refer to Reeves' findings as a hypothesis? Let me define hypothesis again. If you're not sure, then think about what I said earlier. Hypothesis is a guess. It's an educated guess based on information that you have gathered, but it's not something that's proven to be true. So why in this reading do they talk about what Dr. Reeves found out as a hypothesis? Okay. Whoa. No. Let's do number 6. What does the author mean when saying this technology has helped archaeologists uncover secrets of King Tut's tomb? So what are these secrets that they're starting to uncover? or ideas of what might be hidden behind these things. Don't need to do 7. Don't need to do 8. So just number 1, 2, 4, and 6. Right answers somewhere where you can squeeze them or on another sheet of paper. You can reread as many times as you need, okay? All right. Stop sharing. Oh, that's not right. Stop sharing. And then you guys can work through that at your own pace.